Hi, it's Wendy. Something came up on one of the Facebook groups that I'm part of about using inks and embossing folders. And sometimes I think a demonstration is better than just telling how to do it. So I thought I'd do a real quick demonstration. This is an embossing folder. Now, one side it ends up being the emboss and one side ends up being the deboss. Depending upon where you put your ink is what determines what pattern you get. The side that is raised makes the deboss impression. The side that is indented makes the emboss pattern. So what I'm going to do is show you what the difference is between the two. I'll move this a little further out. Hold on here. There we go. Get that out of my way. Now, I don't know if you can see it better on this side. Let's see. It don't matter. Hold on, let me get a piece of paper to put behind there. There we go. Alright. So I have my folder. And let's say I want to color it with inks. And here's another tip. Do not use StazOn ink because you will never get it off your embossing folder. You need to use something like Distress inks, something that you can wipe off. StazOn will come off with the StazOn cleaner, but not everyone has it. So it's better not to use this technique with StazOn inks unless you have the StazOn cleaner. But because I'm using Distress inks, I can use a baby wipe. So this side is the emboss side. So that's where my pattern is going to show up. And I'm using Faded Jeans. And I'm just going to go over the inside of my embossing folder. And you can do this as heavy as you want. I'm going to lay my paper down and close the folder. So bring back my Big Shot. Normally I would use my Cuttlebug, but it's packed away and I can't find it. So fortunately I have this. So, and you just go through, do whatever sandwiches for your machine. The Cuttlebug uses the A and the B plates. For the Big Shot, it's tab 1, tab 1, and the plates. I actually have the extended plates as well, but I'm using the regular plates. And just run it through, just like you normally would. Now, look at this. You're going, oh, I made a mess. Not really. What happened was, wherever I put the ink on the raised parts, that's what shows. So basically your emboss sign is your negative. Or you're actually putting the ink on the negative part of your embossing folder. And I don't think there's much ink on here, but I'm going to wipe it off anyways. If you leave it on there, it will stain your embossing folders. So your best bet is to wipe them off as soon as you're done. So that's what it looks like when you ink on the the embossing side of a folder. Now, let's say you want to make it so that the raised parts become inked on your boss, which is your deboss side of your folder. And I'm going to use Sealess Preserve so that we have a contrast here. Basically what I'm doing is I'm just going over, and if you look as I am doing this, the raised areas of the embossing folder is grabbing the ink. There may be a little bit of ink on the background part. And again, place my paper, close it. I'm going to put that paper in there very straight. Okay. And run it through. Now with embossing folders, it doesn't matter which way you do it. Guys, yes it does. Embossing folders, no. Now I moved that so I got a little bit more of my, but as you can see, the raised areas are now colored. Or the, not necessarily, the debossed areas are colored, because I did it on the debossed side. But let's say, hey, that's all fine and dandy, but I want to make it so that the embossed pattern is colored. I don't want the debossed side colored. I don't want the background colored. Here's how you can do this. Put that over there. Oops. I'm gonna let that hang out a little bit, open so it can dry thoroughly. I have here 2 more of those patterns that I already did. Now, let's get another color. Let's go with Fire Brick. The normal inclination, and this is whether you're using the big pads or the mini pads, the normal inclination is to do this. Well, there's a problem with that. And you can you're going to get the pattern of not just the ink on your emboss side, but you're also going to get, you're going to see the squares, or the rectangle or square shape of your ink pad. That's not what you want. So let's try this again. Let's do a green. One way to do this, and it takes a light touch. If you're afraid that you're going to get too much on there, you can use an applicator, an ink applicator, you know, foam sponge applicator, and do the same process. It will take, and I have it here so we can do that, but you just take a light touch, and you want to just kind of smooth it on. Now I got a little heavy there, but in general, when you take the light touch, there you go. Now don't go like that. If you notice, I was just lightly sweeping across. You may get some on the background, but majority of the ink is going to be on your embossed image. Now, like I said, if you feel like you can't do it because of, just hold on a minute. I need to find my blending tools. That's what I forgot to get. I'll be right back. All right, found it finally. So for this, we're going to need another emboss piece. And the nice thing about using the applicator is you don't have to worry about dropping your ink pad on your project. Yes, I speak from experience. Okay. Come on. There we go. We got a visitor! Mittens, you gotta move. No, you got, fine. See, I can get around you, cat. All right, so we have our piece. And I'm gonna zoom you in a little bit for this part. All right, so let's do another color. Let's do black soot. And the nice thing about using the applicator is the fact that, I'm going to have to do it on here because I don't want to mess up my mat, is it actually gives you a lighter look. And with the applicator, you want to start off the page. Mittens, you don't know how to do this. I'm sorry, I've got a helper. So as you can see, by doing it this way, you have a little more control because you can go right on the embossed area that you want to color and just do right there. Yes, now you're going to purr, aren't you? So that is another option for you. So to recap, this is when we inked the deboss or the emboss side. No, the deboss side. I have to think. The emboss side. You're going to get it all in the background, negative space, and it's going to make whatever image you have show up. Excuse me, I have a little friend here. This is what happens when you ink the deboss side, which is what makes the impression. You actually get the ink, it's kind of like it's engraved in there. It looks like it's been engraved. This is what happens when you use the ink pad and you just pat it. Not really the look you want. This is when you use the ink pad and you rub it very lightly, use a light touch. You can always add more, okay? And then the final one is using a applicator. And if you notice, when I did the applicator, I started off the page and came onto it. That is the best way to do it, whether you use the ink applicator or the ink pad. So if you have any questions, go ahead and just leave them, and I hope this was helpful to you. And just so you know, see, Mittens is here. She says hi. She's begging for treats right now. So we'll see you later. Bye.